Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to VALORANT news, and Rostermania is certainly still ongoing. Further discussions from Ye as to what his future might be, but also Zellsis leaked seemingly to Cloud9. What will their roster be going forwards? Vanity, Leaf, Zeppa, Zellsis looking for one might be the possibility for that roster. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that one. Get another like 500 subs yesterday, so let's keep on trucking along with that one. Notifications on as well, just in case something crazy happens. This from Bo, summing up this Rostermania period, I thought rather nicely, really. Ye spotted drinking Coca-Cola. Read right to cover. What could this possibly be? Coca-Cola logo, he's got the red colours on there. Does that mean Sentinels? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see in a second what Ye has to say about the Sentinels situation, and also the fact that he's, well, seemingly he's going to have an announcement relatively soon. Ye has stated that by next week, as in the coming days, he's going to have his decision set, and then announcements could be prepared. Now, speaking of Sentinels real quick, this was an interesting source that came out yesterday from LCS EV, saying that Sentinels had a deal with Dignitas to buy the LCS spot, and that's now fallen through. Apparently because they were missing the funds to afford the spot as well. Because, look, they secured the VALORANT franchising spot. Now, of course, they didn't have to buy the VALORANT franchising spot, but one could argue that maybe the investment they had to make to secure it, as in pay the players big salaries, bring in Shroud, bring in Taric, all these deals, that might have cost them so much money to actually secure the spot that then they don't have the funds left over to support the LCS team. Now, of course, it is interesting for Sentinels in general because they, of course, have an Apex team that isn't doing particularly well. They've got a pretty legendary Halo team, but VALORANT is their main thing, really, and they don't really do any other esports too much outside of the ones I've just mentioned. So it is interesting that they're doubling down on this, you can argue. But actually, Rob Moore from Sentinels, their CEO, tweets this out. It's pretty crazy when someone with 3k followers makes up a story with no reality and no sources, and people take it seriously, right? So saying this is not true at all, and that in fact they do have the resources and the funding and everything around all their esports. So if you guys did see that story, just know the CEO of Sentinels is effectively denying the truth and the validity of it. Now, let's talk about Amir, because Nat, we don't know where he's going to go. We know he's a free agent. We know that Chronicle, also a free agent, might be going, we shall see, to Fnatic. We'll see in a second here. But yeah, Nat, of course, he went from Turkey, he went over to France, and now, okay, where's he going to go next, right? Does he have more business meetings in the works? Like, we expect him to join some of these European organizations, and there has been some theory that Team Liquid are really trying to make some big moves as well here, so we'll stay tuned for that. Now, this is the Chronicle thing, where, you know, of course, Turko here is streaming. Chronicle comes in the chat here with a VIP and a tick emoji next to him, so I guess they gave him that or whatever. Oh, hello, my new teammate. So, I mean, look, does this actually mean anything? Just because someone calls themselves their teammate or whatever in the Twitch chat doesn't necessarily mean there's actually truth to it. But this would make a fair bit of sense, right, if a Chronicle was to join this roster. They've got Durka, they've got AlphaJair, they've got Boaster still as their trio of three as it presently stands. Chronicle, I think, would be a great addition to this team, and yeah, I'm sure a lot of those guys from Mech and Gambit are going to be hot considerations for these top European organizations. Fnatic may well be one of them, so potentially Chronicle to Fnatic is an option here. Now, this from Brax, actually, of course, like swag, as no back in the day, but Brax as it presently stands. As I look forward to competing in franchising for VALORANT, wanted to put the talks out there again, looking for existing tier 1 teams or any people on the fringe that I may believe in can play any role or secondary IGL, especially mid-game caller stuff like this. So that's pretty interesting. I don't really expect Brax to, you know, be flooded with offers, let's say, from tier 1 teams, because like I obviously, you know, generally done the streaming stuff, but it was briefly like kind of in the competitive scene or the fringes of it at the very least a couple of years ago when he was on like that T1 team, and then obviously things changed around a bit. At least looking to get back into the competitive, but it is interesting, guys like Shroud and Brax and these type of players, big personalities, like you know, where will they find a spot, if anywhere at all, for next season? If they don't, will they grind through the tier 2 ascension size? Like yeah, big questions remaining for many of these characters. Now, someone who certainly, in my opinion, should be in the tier 1 scene is none other than CryoCells from Exit. As he says here, with the recent news, Exit was denied. I have been allowed to explore opportunities as a restricted free agent. Cryo has got to be up there at the top of the list for many of these guys. I expect organizations like obviously Cloud9, we'll see in a second, but also Sen, 100T, like look, all these teams are going to change, all these organizations are going to change, and with Cryo out there as a free agent, you have to at least open your eyes to the possibility that I mean, look, 100T will, I'm sure, be keeping their eyes on many of these players. I'm sure they will be having conversations with some of these players, and Cryo, I think, will be a great pickup to whatever team gets him, and I'm sure it'll be some tier 1 roster somewhere, and if North American guys don't get him, I'm sure European organizations will be reaching out as well. And it's funny, again, his agent is Derek Truong. I think you'll see this guy's name around a lot of places. Like, he represents a lot of these top Valorant guys, and And yeah, if he's taking his 20% cut, he is going to be balling, no doubt about it, when this Rostermania period concludes. Now, just to mention for Bobo real quick, because apparently NRG Seth was mentioning on stream that 100 Thieves and Liquid are the teams that he reckons are going to go big and win this Rostermania. But also the Zellsis situation with regard to red or blue, reckons apparently George Geller said on stream that he doesn't reckon he's baiting with 2 offers on the table, 1 red, 1 blue. That may be Sen or Cloud9, could be 100T or Cloud9, but one of them seems to be Cloud9, as we shall see. So a streamer by the name of K3 Soju was on stream last night, and Zellsis came in his chat, and this was the clip that I'll share with you guys. And as he says, wow, I can't wait to see you play with the Cloud9 team. And it's kind of like, this could be bait, just because, like, surely there's no way that Soju actually thought this was already announced. It's been, what, a couple of days since franchising was locked in. Like, nothing has been announced yet. So there's no way where this would have been announced already, even if it is in the works. The contract probably hasn't already been signed. But yeah, apparently Zellsis to Cloud9, very much a possibility here.
What's up, Zellsis? I'm excited to see you play for the C9 team. Who are you replacing, by the way? Wait, leak? Oh wait, what? It's not even announced?
So what do you guys think about that clip? Is it bait or is he actually being legit? Because he's kind of surprised when he was like, hang on a second, that was leaked, and this wasn't like, okay, either he's a pretty good actor or he's actually true in the fact that yes, indeed, Zellsis is considering the Cloud9 possibility. This would be kind of a big surprise, not maybe a massive surprise, but still, I didn't necessarily think that Cloud9 would have been well, maybe his #1 target, but it could make sense actually with maybe some history with some of those guys. Also, and as he tweeted a couple of days ago, red or blue, Zellsis, you know, maybe Sentinels, maybe Cloud9, who knows? Apparently now Cloud9 is the key target that he may well be going for, and this could be the roster. So Curry and Mitch, of course, they have been made restricted or whatever free agents. They're going to be gone. Vanity, zyppan, and Leaf are the remaining 3, and you know, Vanity, zyppan, Leaf plus Zellsis, that's a pretty solid quartet to start things off. Now people might say, okay, you know, zyppan and Zellsis, is there some overlap in roles there? There is a way that zyppan could, you know, go to a fade, or, you know, however things go, there's probably a way talented players, they could make it work out, but there has been some concerns about that. So yeah, what do you guys think? Zellsis to Cloud9, like, honestly, that leak was pretty solid in my opinion, that maybe there's something going on there. So we'll stay tuned, of course. And that's the thing, all can still change. Even if they're so close to maybe getting the Zellsis deal done, you never really know if another player comes on the market or Ye changes his mind or whatever, that all of a sudden other players are available and then Zellsis gets thrown back into the pit, right, into the blender. But it's going to get a spot somewhere, and we would imagine that that spot's going to be on Cloud9 based on what we are seeing right now. But as I say, all can change. Speaking of the OpTic stuff, then this is an interesting possibility as well, even as Chet says here, the OpTic coach. What's the best stuff to do in Korea in December? Chet and Victor to Korea, and then he says, nah, just me. So we would expect Chet to still be the coach somewhere in the North American scene. Of course, former OpTic coach, might get involved in a number of organizations, right, that might want to bring him along. I'd be surprised if he separates entirely from the OpTic team, as in I would expect wherever, you know, let's say Victor and Crashies end up, or wherever Ye ends up, I'd expect maybe Chet to go along with one of the guys from his former lineup. But of course, there is the outside possibility that some of these players go from the North American scene to either Europe or also to the Korean League or to the Pacific League for one of the Korean teams. That's unlikely, but still not impossible to rule out. Now, yesterday we discussed Ye's massive offer, $1 million per year. I was wondering whether it was from Bleed Esports, just because these guys apparently have an awful lot of money, and apparently that was the organization that gave Ye the $1 million per year contract offer. He has declined to choose a team from North America. We believe that he's pretty much narrowed it down now to just a couple of teams. He's still yet to make his final decision, but he has stated that things should pretty much be set in stone by next week, over the coming days, and then announcements can follow.
See, everyone bashes Sentinels for streaming, but in reality, you guys understand, everyone bashes Sentinels for streaming, but in reality, they made franchising, no? We didn't make franchising. That's all I'm gonna say. So who really won here, you know? Who really won in the end? They were playing the long game all along. Can you just tell me when the announcement's gonna be? I don't know when the announcement's going to be, but I will tell you guys, I'll probably have a final decision on where I'm going done by next week. Most likely. I will tell you guys that.
What do we want to do, team?
Next week, I will probably sign something officially. I will say one thing. I will hope you're excited for this off-season. I know a lot of stuff right now. I know a lot of stuff right now. And let's just say all your favorite rosters are going... That's all I'm going to say. Let's just say they're... It might be a lot different.
That's interesting.
It's very spicy, let's just say that.
So Ye has a good idea what offers he has, where he's going to go. Of course, look, we don't know exactly what they are. We know that it's not Evil Geniuses. We can expect, okay, 100T, Cloud9, NRG, or Sentinels. Which of those 4 seems the most likely to you guys? All of those 4, of course, have to be in consideration. I'd be surprised if 100 Thieves aren't going, you know, all guns out, all guns blazing to try and get Ye in the team. We'll see, of course. And even as Victor says, expect the unexpected, like the seriously unexpected here. So, yeah, even as Ye kind of was implying also that there are many changes to come, all of these teams are going to change apart and break apart. And I mean, yeah, you've got to kind of be happy while it's happened for these previous iterations of the lineup, rather than sad that these teams are breaking apart, because they most certainly will be. So Victor and Crashy still probably a team of 2 going somewhere with, you know, those guys, of course, both unrestricted. That is the expectation, but we really don't know much more than that right now. So the pros are going to be tweeting this. They're going to be baiting around. Guys like zyppan might not get into the league again after the exit situation, the GG situation, unfortunately. So he might go through the Ascension League, right? And many players will be forced into that future. And of course, a lot of these top tier guys are going to want to lock down a tier 1 spot as quick as they possibly can. And of course, guys like Ye and the OpTic fellas are going to have their offers on the table. The first contracts will probably get signed here over the coming days. And then we're probably going to have some announcements filing out maybe the end of this week or something like that. But even when the first announcements come through, that's going to be a far cry from the full roster confirmations, I'm sure. But very much interested to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit the like button. Tell us YouTube gods, this is a video, and I was like, you should see it as well, and upgrade the competitive Valorant community. Thank you as always, take care, and I'll see you next time.